Okay, guys, so I'm here today to talk about, obviously, you can tell by the title, Brady Tkachuk, and my opinion that's maybe not the same as most of you Sens fans out there, and I'll tell you why. First of all, when anyone says Brady Tkachuk is a star player, I just have to laugh, and I almost lose my mind in some cases too when they just keep raving about how good he is. He's so overrated. It's not even funny. The guy's just he's a player now. I don't look at him as a guy who straight up shouldn't be in the NHL or anything like that. Don't get me wrong there. I think he's a good player, but he has his place on a team. He's not a star player just because he scores 20 goals or whatever the last two seasons. He's a 40-point guy, and you could say, oh, well, he's still developing, but I also find a lot of his goals to be of the very fortunate variety or hardworking variety. It's either one's going in off his shin pads, and you can say, oh, well, he's around the net, and so he gets rewarded with lucky bounces, and yeah, that's fine and dandy, and even goal scorers score goals like that too. But I find a lot of Kachuk's goals don't come, they come around that 5 feet range of the crease, and he can't really seem to beat a goalie too far out for the most part. There's maybe a handful of goals that he's scored the last 2 years he's been in the league that I could say, wow, that was a really nice goal from Kachuk. And Brady Tkachuk's a guy who I find he whiffs on a lot of passes. This guy, now let's remember, he was picked fourth overall back in 2018. And I alluded to it in a video the other day why I was so upset that they picked him. And now I'm even more upset that they picked him because the way he shoots the puck, his shot, it doesn't have enough velocity on it, I find, to beat a goalie from far out. He's not that stellar. He's not really that stellar at any part of the game you would expect a fourth overall pick to be stellar at. I just look at him as this big physical pest. He's a pest. He's kind of like Brad Marchand, but with less skill and in a bigger version, really. So there's not a lot there to look at and say, yeah, he's worth that fourth overall pick. He's not. And I don't know if Sens fans, I find a lot of them, Sens fans and writers alike, they're always just going on about how great he is and stuff like that. I don't know if they're trying to make themselves feel good because Ottawa used a high pick on him at fourth overall. But sorry, he's not good. He's not that fourth overall pick. He shouldn't have been picked that high by Ottawa. You look at a guy like Quinn Hughes who was taken 3 spots after him, and I just have to, sit and then put my face in my palm and just, wonder what could have been if we got a much better player, much more dynamic player in Quinn Hughes. And that's what I've been talking about Ottawa, valuing grit and size and physicality over skill and speed and agility and stuff like that. I find his skating is also very choppy as well. He's not a guy who's going to drive a team, let's put it that way. He's not going to just take over a game offensively when you need a big goal. He's going to provide, he's going to like dance through guys and snap off a wicked wrist shot and score. He's not a sniper. I wish people would stop saying, oh, Kachuk's going to be sniping left and right next season. He's not. The only reason he's going to snipe is if Tim Stutzel's bouncing pucks off his shin pads, I think. And now I'm sure as all of you, I've seen this thing now where an apparent leak in the Adidas jerseys, the new Ottawa Senator jerseys, where they're selling Brady Tkachuk ones with the C on it. And people are like, ooh, Captain Tkachuk? Like, I almost feel like I have to say that in a Scooby-Doo voice or something because that's how stupid that idea is. You're going to make this guy a captain? He's a rat. He's a rat. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. I personally don't like rats, even if they are on the Ottawa Senators. I don't like it when they pick up players like that. I'm like, ew, I don't like this guy. And I know people think, oh, if you're going to like the team, you got to like every guy that's on your team. No, you don't. I like a lot of the players. I cheer for the Ottawa Senators. I think Shabbat would be a great choice for captain. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I don't have to like every player on there. If I think a guy's a rat and a coward sometimes, like Tkachuk is, and a diver too, you want a guy who's a diver and a rat and somewhat of a dishonest player at times to be your captain? For real? Is that what you want the Ottawa Senators, the face of the franchise, to be? A guy who's a rat? And he dives and he picks on smaller players. Like there was an instance in a game, they had 2 games close together with the New York Islanders last fall in October and November. And so the Sens, they were losing, and Kachuk gets frustrated. He jumps guys too a lot. So he jumps Casey Cizikas in a fight. He gets the gloves off, just pretty much says, I don't care if you don't want to fight, you're going to fight anyways, and starts laying a beating on the guy. And then in the next meeting, the Islanders put in a big tough guy of their own, Ross Johnson, who's like 6'5", 230. And I'm not asking Kachuk to go around fighting guys like that, but if you're going to go after smaller players and a big guy confronts you, drop the gloves, buddy, and fight. Is that what we want the Ottawa Senators to be? A bunch of little cowards who run around picking on small guys, and then when a big guy comes and confronts them, their you-know-whats drop off like Kachuk does? I mean, we don't want that. That's just unbelievable. We don't want that. That's not captain material at all. You can't tell me that's captain material. You want the captain to be Thomas Chabot. I think that guy is a far more respectable player than Tkachuk will ever be. And Tkachuk has his place on the team, and if he wants to keep doing what he's doing and being a rat, he can't be captain. You just can't name him that. That's a bad look on the team going forward. And I find with Brady Tkachuk too, a lot of things just kind of seem to be handed to him by the Sens, and I don't know if it's because of politics, because of his name and his family history, because his dad played in the NHL, his brother, as we know, plays in the NHL. Um, it just seems like no matter how crappy of a game the guy's having, they just keep putting him back out there, push him out there. And that's fine. I don't believe you should bench a guy at the first mistake he makes, especially a young player. That's terrible for their confidence. But if you're going to do it with one young player, you got to do it for them all. Every time Duclair would maybe have a bit of a bad game, or he turned the puck over in a prime area of the ice or whatever, bang, he's stapled to the bench right away. I remember there was an instance too with Tyler Ennis, who isn't a young player, but still, he makes a mistake in a game against Detroit last fall. He turns the puck over at the blue line or something, and the puck ends up in the Sens net, which isn't good, of course. And the guy's benched for like, I don't know, half the rest of the game or something. He doesn't see a shift for a long time anyways. I know that was for sure. But for Tkachuk, I mean, like I said, he can make all these mistakes, and he's a turnover machine because he whiffs on so many pucks too. He's just doesn't have the offensive gusto that you need if you're going to be a fourth overall pick. I don't even know how this guy was drafted so high. I think it's because his name's Tkachuk. To be honest with you, I'm beginning to believe. And if they give an undeserving player like Tkachuk the captaincy, and yes, I will say that, I said it, he's undeserving. There you go. It just will further validate my point that yes, he does get everything handed to him. Give the guy the keys to the car, even though he hasn't really earned it. What has he done that makes him a captain? Like legitimately, okay, he works hard. I'll give him that. Yes, he does work hard. He's a physical presence. He's a good third to middle six forward, I would say. I wouldn't give him a top tier forward. I just hate it, like I mentioned earlier in the video, when people say this guy's a star. He's not a star. Stop saying that. Please just stop it. That's not the case with Brady Tkachuk at all. Calling him a star is just so funny when you see him actually play out there and you see him tripping over his feet a lot. He just has a hard time staying up on his skates. I mean, he whiffs on a lot of passes too. It's ridiculous. I mean, that guy was taken fourth overall. And Sens fans, I mean, you got to open up your eyes. I know it sucks when you take a player that, is like, you take him fourth overall and you think, oh, you're hoping he's going to be really good and he's going to really, make your team look good, that they took him fourth overall. But that's not the case with Tkachuk, sadly. I think he can be a good player in this league, but I don't think he's going to ever live up to that fourth overall status. He just doesn't have, like I said, the offensive gusto. He doesn't skate very well. His shot is soft. He whiffs on a lot of passes. He turns the puck over a lot, because I find when he gets the puck on his stick, he just almost seems like he wants to get rid of it and just play this physical game all the time rather than take the puck and actually do something with it, other than scoring from around 5 feet in front of the net all the time, because he can't seem to beat a goalie any further out than that. If they make Tkachuk captain, though, I'll be so embarrassed. That's what's going to happen for me. I mean, I'll be so embarrassed, and just to have that guy be captain and have people just rail. He's going to do some cheap, dirty crap to some smaller player probably, or like he's going to spear him if the Sens are losing or something in the Groin a la Marchand style. And then people are going to say, wow, that's your captain. Is that what you want, Sens fans, to have a guy like that as the captain? I mean, I really don't think so. I know it's not what you want, and you got to see Brady Tkachuk for who he really is. This is pretty much what he is. He's a hard-working third line to middle six forward who can chip in a bit offensively, scores a lot of hard-working goals, not really too many that involve a lot of skill. And he's a rat for sure. He's a rat. He's Brad Marchand like, but bigger and with a lot less skill. At least Marchand can score goals. And even the Boston Bruins don't make Marchand captain. They don't make him captain. They have Chara as their captain. When Chara retires, we all know who's going to get the C next. It's going to be Bergeron. It's not going to be Brad Marchand. That would be so embarrassing on their organization, just as it'll be really embarrassing on Ottawa's organization if they give Brady Tkachuk the C. But guys, that's what I think on Brady Tkachuk. I've been kind of pondering about making this video for a while now. I think he is very overrated, as I've mentioned. I'm just sick and tired of people always just in love with this guy for I don't know what. I mean, he's a dirty. I personally don't like dirty players who are kind of rats like that. That's just not really the style of player I like. And I really can't. Another thing I really can't stand is when guys are so grossly overrated, like Brady Tkachuk is. All you have to do is just watch him play for a little bit, and you know he's not worth the fourth overall pick. But that's my opinion. Comment down below what you guys think about Tkachuk. If you love him, you can tell me you love him, and tell me why you love him and why you think he's the next Sidney Crosby or whatnot. But I obviously don't think that. But you guys can tell me what you think down in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe and share this video, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.